Free slaves, my ass. My back still getting whooped, and I ain't got no 40 acres and a mule. Sons of light represent the gospel. Long live the king, Yahoo. Bloodline royal, lost, true Israel means prince of the power. Victims of sinning from the beginning, fell out of favor with Father. Tossed headlong out the Holy Land by the Lord's own hand. We been confused with black Egyptians, so we hid in with Ham. Next got thrown on the ships, language was stripped from our lips, culture got ripped from our hands. Show us who these curses fit, separate wheat from the tares. Pray you don't fall through the sift. Your soul ain't resting in peace if you lived in wickedness. The Bible tells the truth about this, so they lie about that. Turn history into his story and omitted the facts. Now see servants riding on horses, kings that die in the dirt, and princes of my holy people walking slaves on the earth. Low down, no good, dirty ass pastor, keep running from truth. Won't warn you about saving your soul, he want them dollars from you. You shaking hands with the devil, but you don't know what you facing. A cult and riding goats and oaths, secret societies and masons.
Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David. Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David.
They can prove it, they prophets, the pastor do it for profit. 10% in his pocket, and God they trust is their wallet. Lost sheep will think that they got it. To follow him is your option. Don't want the fruit but the knowledge. Forget the soul, the deposit. Since the beginning, like olives, the gold is tried and is polished. Long live the king, pay your homage. The heart is pure when it's honest. Lately, I'm cleaning my closet, looking for the Lord and his promise. Meant to Egypt, give this bondage, and the flesh get beyond it. They sold their soul for some diamonds. Curses say that we astonished. Read the word like an infection. Learn it from nooks and this message. Blessings that's in our own essence. Day to day we getting tested. Don't fall from grace but transgression. Just use my tongue as your message weapon. Which side you on? Is it the Lord or those that try to clone? Oops, he running out of time. Christ is on his way home. 1 minute you're here, the next minute like vapors you're gone. CERN plant with portals to show my people we not alone.
Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David. Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David. Hallelujah, thank God that my God the ruler. Measuring stick, we put you against to show you he's super. How you maneuver, is it gutter or is it sewer? From the tribe of Judah, bunch of lions trying to come rule us. No, they can't fool us. Holy Spirit coming to school us, hopefully prove us, and then tune us into his rule book. Cowards is too shook, not really real, yeah they fakers. Yep, gainsayers that kill now when they pay later. Wait for the game changer, crack in the sky and these lames danger. And a flame flamer, can't stop and roll with the lake blazing. And some nay faces, gnashing of teeth with some gay maces, wishing to trade places. Should've believed and had payment. Screaming why you do that? I said Hebrew is the new black instead of new jack. That truth crack and making it true trap. Yahoo that, stay in his word, can't afford to lose that. All we need is him, so enemies they need to move back. Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David. Servant of the Lord, that's my occupation. He coming with a sword to subdue all the nations. It's time to settle scores, put things in proper places. The facts we gotta face it, chosen nation, son of David.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for tonight. I am Kyle. Man, it has been a week. Shabbat shalom to everyone. We are still going through our issues technically with our OBS system. I need to uninstall and reinstall, but it has been a week, a very eventful week. So I have not had a chance to sit back and do that. So we're still dealing with the feed not going directly to Facebook. So I'm going directly to Facebook, but we are on Twitch, but it is loading. We are on YouTube, but it is glitching, but the volume, the audio goes all the way through. So you guys can still get this lesson tonight. And I'm sure that the video will show on the YouTube when you go back to it after it's done, after we complete tonight. So you can always go back and and check out the broadcast that we do in its entirety on YouTube, Hebrew State of Being, as well as if you go down the timeline of my Facebook page of Glenn Jones, Glenn Jones, you are able to see the past shows. You can go on our Twitch and you can see what we've done in the last 2 weeks because Twitch only holds it for about 2 weeks. But yeah, this is where we are. I see we got people coming in. I see Aran's in the building, Esther's in the building. That's all they're really showing me right now. But just want to, so thankful, tonight to be back in the saddle and doing scriptures with you guys, man. I missed you guys the last two nights, Monday and Wednesday, especially, and then also Thursday night when I was supposed to do our Chief Al Wamble. But Big Chief Al Wamble and the Cheyenne Gang has done so much to and for blackmasking.org that we really just want to do him right when I got all the electronics and the digital thing taken care of so we can do him true justice and his tribe true justice, and it can air where it needs to air in all of its possible platforms. So yeah, but it's been 2 weeks. As you know, we've had with Black Masking, we've done our Mardi Gras and Lundi Gras events, and we are still putting together our St. Joseph Night event, and we're still putting together our Easter event. So we're still moving forward with the grace and the mercy of the Most High, and you working with what He provides. So we're thankful for that. And let me tell you, His hand is being shown there. People talk about faith, and it's as if it's something that you can't touch. But I always argue that my faith is very touchable. That I'm not praying to something that I can't touch. It's all around me. It's all around my life. It's in every aspect of me, right? So faith for me is very different than the Catholicism or any other what you call a religion that would say that He's not seen when His name, His very name says, I exist. I am in Hebrew means I exist. It in the American English dialect, in the King's English, I exist is translated into I am. So the very name of Yahshua, our salvation, when He's at the right hand of the Most High, when He is I am that I am, I exist, that I exist. The higher, that's the Hebrew word ahaya for I exist, I am. So when we understand that this faith thing is not something that can't be seen, if you can see the evils of the world, if you can feel the pain of the world, if you can feel, the iniquity that is surrounding us on a constant basis, then you should be able to feel your faith. You should be able to feel and see your Creator working in your life, His hand or its hand in your life, right? So that's what tonight is about, the glory of the Most High. As y'all can see, I'm not in regular studios. In every tribulation and trial that you go through, the Most High is right there with you. Through every trial and tribulation that you go through in life, the Most High is there with you. And in your trials and tribulations, the Most High will reveal things unto you that you may not have been looking for, but your soul had been longing for. I say that because tonight I am at my uncle's house, my mother's brother. You guys out there don't know a lot about me, but understand that my mother passed away some time ago. But before that, my mother was dead, even before she had a physical death. My mother was addicted to all sorts of drugs. So I lived with my father's side of the family, as many of us in New Orleans and just across the United States in that urban or that melanated community. This is something that runs rampant. You will only know one side of your family. You know, you have grown up a little bit with both sides, but then the split happens, right? And then either you go with mom or dad, you know. And so I went with pops, and my pop's sister, my aunt, actually raised me because my mother was having her trials and tribulations. So I didn't connect and don't know much of the history on my mother's side as far as cousins and aunts and uncles and distant cousins and all those things. So in my trials and tribulations, the Most High placed me at my uncle's house, something that wouldn't normally happen if I wasn't displaced because I've always had my own. So as I'm making a transition, I would have never had this opportunity to if I wasn't in transition, I wouldn't have this opportunity to spend this very valuable and quality time with my uncle to learn things about my mother before the monkey got on her back, so to speak, the woman that she was, the family, the grandmothers, the great grandmothers, the influence of the great grandmother's sisters, and how many of those sisters there were, and understanding how my mother got to where she was. It's invaluable for the soul, you know, and and my point of the glory of the Most High and making sure that you are looking for it at all times, especially in the times when you're going through trials and tribulations, because that's when he's showing his hand. That's when he's showing how much he loves you. That's how he shows you that I got you, no matter what the world is saying, or no matter how the world has shifted. Know that I got you when the world doesn't. And in that, he will show you different things. I see Mike in the building. What's up, my brother? And in the process of that, if you are not consumed with the woe is me attitude, and the woe is me attitude is not believing in the Most High, not believing that He's there with you in your trial and tribulation, and you begin to internalize your situation, and you begin to uh, overanalyze yourself, overbeat yourself up, you miss what the Most High is doing around you. If you're focused on your particular downtime or your downfall, right? And not seeing what or not looking for what he's showing you, right? So this opportunity to learn these things about my mother and this side of her family is invaluable. Like I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? I'm absolutely loving the stories, loving the understanding, the clarifications of the things that I didn't understand. And you know, that's a beauty, that's a jewel in the midst of all chaos going on. There's a jewel, and you can only see it if you're calm in the storm and you know that somebody's got you. You know that the Most High's hand is there. Your faith is not some supernatural. Your prayers aren't just going into the wind. You know that your prayers are being heard and being answered. So you're calm in Him. And you know that something's going to come. You don't have to run out there. You don't have to be frantic. You can wait for Him to put it in you to happen in that manner. As you make your steps to make yourself whole, you'll see Him lay out all of these peripheral things to just help you move you in the right place, to continue to receive that covering and that grace and the mercy. And while He's doing all of that, He's dropping little jewels for you. He's like, hey man, while you sitting down, check this out. Remember them things you was talking to me about when you was a kid, all them things that you had some concerns about? Well, let me answer all that for you because you're being renewed. So let me clear out some things for you. Man, I can't tell y'all, this is absolutely joyous, right? So tonight, that's what I wanted to bring forth when I was, contemplating on what we're gonna discuss, and we've been going through Enoch and missing a couple of days, and I just said, Most High, I just sitting there on my uncle's back porch and watching the sun set, and it's just the glory of Him came to my mind, just the absolute covenant and glory that we have. And I said to myself, I think I did a lesson on the glory of the Most High before. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think I've done this before, you know what I'm saying? But it is, oh, let me try and get this right. So, you guys. So, like, I think I did one on the glory already, but you can never do enough on the glory of the Most High, even if I have. And these scriptures tonight, man, really brings home what we are, who we are, and what is our reward. We go through these things, on this earth, and we're told to just, subdue ourselves and just go with His will, and don't be emotional about it. Just know, don't be emotional about it. Just do Thy will, right? What is the reward for that, or what's truly the end game for that, right? Because at the end of the day, we have real. I'm trying to get this thing right. I know what I'm gonna do. There we go. At the end of the day, we are truly dealing with physical challenges, right? And as we go through these physical challenges, we get victories or we get salvation, we see His hand, but is that all that we're seeing? Like, is His hand really just as big as answering your need, as providing the thing that you're searching for in this moment? I'm really aggravated by this, guys. You gotta give me. I really want this to be. I don't want to stay where I want to stay. All right, that'll work, I hope. Anyway, so here we go. So Isaiah chapter 60, and we have to blow our shofar before we get into our scriptures. It is Shabbat after all. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. So, if we're looking at this Isaiah 60, the title of this, the heading to Isaiah 60 is a glorified Zion. What is Zion? Zion is the promised kingdom, right? Zion is the promised place for all of the Most High's people. We're not, in our trials and tribulations, it's given the Most High the opportunity to see what kind of character we are standing by on Him. When we go through trials and tribulations, we are to be a reflection of the Most High in that process. The Most High already has an answer for the problem. The Most High already has where He's moving you. The Most High already has your entire story written. So when you come across these trials and tribulations, yes, it is what you need to do is to be a reflection of Him. But even in being a reflection of Him, and you come out of it on top, right? You come out of it with the glory, so to speak. And I'm speaking in a very humble. Oh, I see Baptiste in the building. What I see is that what we have, even if you win the victory or you have the glory, when I speak of the glory, I mean that you have come out of it unscathed, that you have come out of it intact. Is that the only thing you get for all that you went through? Is the fact that, okay, you weren't found to be a scoundrel or whatever, you weren't found to be the bank robber, you weren't found to be the person that started the gossip, you were found not to be the one at the job that did the wrong thing, you were vindicated, you got your glory from man, so to speak. Is that what you are fighting for? The glory of man? For a man to look at you esteemed? Is that the victory? Because that's a small victory. I mean, that's a really, really small victory because man, at the end of the day, is very small, including yourself as present company and myself. So if the adulation and just being vindicated is the only reward after you've been thrown through the mud or after you've gone through trials and tribulations through it or after you've done whatever the situation is, you don't want hurt to anyone else, right? Because as Hebrews and Shebrews, we don't want hurt, pain, or anguish unto the Yahudim, unto our brothers and sisters. So if we're going through trials and tribulations with our brothers and sisters and our elders, our parents, our children, our whatever it may be, and we want it to be right, but it's not right. So things are wrong. So you have the conflict. At the end, you're vindicated, and that's it. Just that's it. No, it's not it. That's only from man's perspective that's it. Like my brother Peasy say in his song, and it's a real thing. He says, now that you, because it's in a song called so you found out you're an Israelite, right? So it's Israelite off of his last album, Return of Simba. Israelite is a song. So you found out you're an Israelite. He says, so if someone steals your money, you gotta now either pray, right? Or go and call the police, because you can't do what you would normally do beforehand. So in that situation, there's only two rewards. There's the reward of man, you call the police, you get vindicated, or you wait on the Most High. I'm trying to take it further on that waiting on the Most High. I'm trying to take us one step past our flesh. I'm trying to take it one step past the adulation of man. I'm trying to take it one step past vindication. I'm trying to take it one step past, oh, I just didn't get fired, or oh, everybody sees that I was right in the assembly. I'm trying to take it a step past that, because that's not enough. What this world puts us through, that's not enough. Man to just apologize, or for man to recompense you for what you've lost, for it does not measure up to how much you had to sacrifice and subdue yourself to be the reflection of the Most High in your trial and tribulation, in your time of duress, to be gentle, to be humble, to not have your heart wax cold, to not spew anger and evil. Man's adulations, or man's apology, or the world saying, okay, you good on this one, is not enough of a reward. It shouldn't be. It should not be. But we're raised differently. We're raised to let man judge us. We are raised to let man dictate what is right and wrong. And that is what directly the scripture says is the traditions of man, the thing that we are supposed to avoid. So Isaiah 60 is going to break down what we get for our reflection of the Most High, what we get for being a reflection of Him, subduing our passion, subduing our anger, subduing our tongue, subduing our actions. What do we get for that besides man just stepping away? It says here in Isaiah, it's a glorified Zion. So here we go, verse 1. It says, arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. When you come out of your trial and tribulation, the Most High's glory is upon you. It's not the adulation of man. It's not the reception of man. It's not the pat on the backs, the attaboys. It's not the there you go, queen. It's not about that. What it's about is that you have risen to the occasion and you kept your light. And now the glory of the Most High is risen upon thee. Verse 2. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Most High shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. It gets all the way down to verse 3 before they start talking about man's adulation for you being a reflection of the Most High. For you, I see in the building, say la vie. So this is verse 3. When we get to man's adulation, for you standing and being righteous, for you being an image of righteousness. Kings, Gentiles, they come third. First, it's the Most High countenance is upon thee, his glory. This is about the glory of the Most High. His glory is upon you when you do so. Verse 4. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged. So hold up. After you stand in the midst of your trial and tribulation. What's up, B? I see you in the building. This is a good one for you tonight, my brothers. This is a beautiful one for you tonight. I pray you can stay in. So we're talking about the glory of the Most High, and as you are going through your trials and tribulations, trying to forge your company, trying to forge your business, as you're going through trials and tribulations, when you stand and be righteous, when everybody gives you the opportunity to do other, when your flesh desires for you to do other, and you steadfast and sacrifice that, and you stand on righteousness at the end, you will get adulation of men. But the first thing you will have is the glory, the countenance, the light of the Most High upon you, which is greater than any apology or greater than any keeping of your job, or greater than any somebody saying, wow, from afar, I saw how that was handled. It's greater than anything. You have the countenance and the glory of the Most High upon you when you endure to the end in the midst of darkness. And it says, then thou shalt see and flow together. So now the Most High says, after you stand, that these kings, these Gentiles, they would then flow with you. Y'all would then flow together, and thine heart shall fear the Most High, because they'll know that you steadfast only because of the fear of the Most High, only because of the love of the Most High, only because you keep his laws, statutes, and commandments steadfast in your walk. It says, your heart shall fear, and be enlarged. So the love in your heart will be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. You hear that? It says, because the abundance of the sea, we talking all seas, Atlantic, Pacific, we talking Indian Ocean, we talking the sea, shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praise of the Most High. When you steadfast and you show the reflection of the Most High, and you are victorious at the end, the Most High says that all will flow with you, because they will understand the beauty. Their hearts will be enlarged. You will be able to flow together, because now everybody understands what the rock is. I see in the building, Yediah. You and everyone see what the rock is, because remember, you were standing on this rock, and everything tried to sway you, but you stood on this rock of righteousness. It says, the multitude of camels shall come over to thee, the dromedaries of the Midians and the Ephahs, the priest of them, all they from Sheba shall come, that's Ethiopia. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praise of the Most High. All the flocks of Kedar, Egypt, shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. The rams shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar. I mean, the sheep are going to come up willingly to be slaughtered for his acceptance. I will glorify the house of my glory. I will glorify the house of my glory. We're talking about the glory of the Most High. We're not talking about piddlings. We're not talking about dollars. We're not talking about bitcoins. We're not talking about the prosperity preachers. We're talking about everlasting soul. We're talking about the Yasha, the salvation that came for us, has the keys to death. He came back from the death and showed us we should not fear death. So we should not fear death, D-E-B-T, or death, D-E-A-T-H. Because we got a mighty one on our back that says, just stand up on my rock. It's like a mountain. You standing on one part of the rock, but the rock is surrounding you like a mountain. This ain't no little rock that you got to hold your tiptoes on. So you got to, this ain't a boulder. This is a mountain. This is that the sheep shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud, as the doves to their windows? I want y'all to remember this line here, this verse, Isaiah 60, verse 8, for the end of the show tonight, where I'm going to show you another Jason A video about these flying saucers, these unidentified objects in the air. And here you see the Most High is talking about the glory that he is bringing forth. And he is asking the question, who are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves to their windows? There's a question mark in the scripture. And it says, surely the isles, the Gentiles, shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish, which is Spain, first, it says, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar. So Spain is going to bring the sons from afar. The same Spain that shipped us afar. Y'all do know we were the original Black Portuguese. We were the original Portuguese before they became Caucasian Portuguese. Yeah. That whole Iberian Peninsula, that we ran that. Yeah, that whole Tarshish was Spain, right? It was all ours, right? So here I find it interesting in Isaiah that it says, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Most High, thy power, and to the Holy One of Yasharallah, because he had glorified thee. Who is the Holy One of Yasharallah? That is the Most High, because he had glorified thee, because that is the one that glorified us, because that is the power that glorifies us when we stand on his mountain. When we follow the ways of his son Yasha in the salvation, the Emmanuel, the I am that I am, the I exist, his son that spoke to Moses in the burning bush, that spoke to Abraham and called himself Shadiah, the destroyer. And to this day, the Hindus worship the destroyer called Shiva. It's right outside of CERN, does the dance of destruction. So here it's saying, I don't know who that is. Wait, what is that? Well, Ashley, I see your message. You got to stay away from the drama. You got to keep peace and you got to be righteous in it. You do not let, because that is what the Hashatan, the adversary, wants. It wants to pull us into that drama. You have to steadfast and not let it take your spirit on, take your flesh on. I'm glad that you walked out. I pray that you did it in righteousness, that you notified your supervisors, that you let everybody know what the deal is, because always cover yourself. And covering yourself is letting everyone know that you're doing the righteous thing. And let them make their decision. And if they don't agree that what you're doing is the righteous thing, then let the chips fall where they may. But because the Most High will cover you, He will take care of you. I'm a living testimony. So it's saying that Tarshish, that the same people that dispersed us when it became the Caucasian Portuguese and Ferdinand and Isabella and Spain, the Latins, with the Visigoths, the Gothics, these people all married together and turned on the Hebrews and sold us into slavery in 1492 by the papal bull. So the Most High is saying by these same people that they're going to grab us from afar and they're going to come with silver and gold with them unto the Most High thy power and to the Holy One of Yasharallah, because he had glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. But in my favor have I had mercy on thee. It says, the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote them. Verse 11, therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and their kings may be brought. We told you that the Most High is not in the business of racism. He could care less about color. It's a whole nother story for me to go into how the Gentiles became Caucasian, and that understanding that Gentiles also encompass the Africans of Egypt. That the Gentile was anyone that was not of the Shemitic, from the line of Shem bloodline. So when we're reading these scriptures, don't automatically put a color to a Gentile. Then you're getting caught in this matrix of America. What we are talking about here is in verse 11, that all these people are going to break them shoulders when we, as the Hebrews, as the chosen seed, stand on that mountain, that rock of the Most High, and show them righteousness. Then they will flow with us. Then it says, verse 12, for the nations of the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. We know through Revelations that the Most High says that the outer courts will be for the Gentiles. That there will be a place for the Gentiles that are righteous. And they may be screaming Jesus. They may be screaming Allah. But they live a righteous life. If their flesh, when it's time for their flesh to testify against them, and they ain't got nothing but they called on the wrong name, trust me, people, that ain't going to keep them out of the heaven. So don't let your mind get caught up in those things. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Know that. Don't matter the color. Know that if they are not worshiping the Most High, they shall perish. Ye, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come upon thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. Most I say, wherever I put my foot is going to be glorious. Understand that I will make the glory of Lebanon. It shall come unto thee. The fir tree, the pine tree. It says all these things will come unto the ones that are following righteousness. Not a name, not a doctrine, but are walking their life in righteousness. The sons also of them that afflicted thee, verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Most High, the Zion of the Holy One of Yasharallah. Wait. How did we get from the people that were going against us, that afflicted us, bowing themselves down to a city of Zion? How did we get there? Y'all see, we all in verse 14. We didn't skip to another verse. We're in verse 14, c'est la vie. And it says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city. So many times people are talking about going back to Jerusalem, going back to the motherland. There's so many people that have these doctrines that speak of a landmass, and these people are fighting and spilling blood right now over that landmass. But in Isaiah chapter 60, verse 14, it says that the people that rise up in righteousness and are the reflection of the Most High, that the world, the kings, the Gentiles will bow to their feet and say, this is the city. Not the North African slither that is Jerusalem, but the people. The power is in the people. The city, the Zion, the temple, it's the people. And what type of people? The people of Shem. The ones of Shem that do what? The ones that are righteous, the ones that stand on the rock. The bloodline of Abraham that stands on the rock. Those are the city, wherever their feet are. Early it said, the Most High said, I will bring it like Lebanon will come upon thee with fir trees. It will be like a palace. And where I lay my feet shall be glorious. And they said that these people will bow down to our feet and say that this is the city of Zion. We have to get out of the thought of fighting over doctrines and land masses. We control a very large landmass. Your body, your temple is a moving landmass. As it says here, it's a city. Not just a city, but a city of the Most High. We change us. We circumcise our heart. We learn how to walk in righteousness through adversity. And we get his glory, his countenance, the glory of his countenance upon us. Then the world breaks down and breaks their shoulders and come to our feet and proclaim us as the city of the Most High, the Zion of the Holy One of Yasharallah. Oh, on this Shabbat, know that it is absolutely about you. Know that your world is about you. Verse 15, chapter 60, Isaiah. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee. I will make thee an external excellency. I will make thee an eternal, not internal, eternal excellency. So again, why do we stand on the rock? It is not for man's adulation. It is not to be vindicated when we've been accused. It is not to keep the job. It's not to save face. It's not to keep namesake. No. The reason that you are righteous in your adversity is because you're trying to get your glory of the Most High upon you. Because you are trying to get an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations, as it says. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Verse 16. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, the Most High, am. Remember, it is I exist. It is a higher, right? Know that a higher, the Savior. What does Yahshua call salvation? And thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. So we were talking about the Most High all before. Now we get specific about Yahshua because they're describing the mighty one of Jacob, the one that came in a physical form. We're talking about Yahshua, who was first known as Shaddai the Destroyer to Abraham. Then he was known to Moses as Ahaya Shua Ahaya, I exist, right? And now he came in a physical form and is known as the salvation, the name Yahshua, and he's the Redeemer and the mighty one of Jacob, of Yaakov, the 12 tribes. Remember, Yahshua comes from the bloodline of David. For brass, verse 17, for brass I will bring gold, for iron I will bring silver, and for wood, brass, and for stones, iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteous. So if the Most High is going to come in, shake up everything, and he's going to make his officers of peace, then what you think you auditioning for when you're in the midst of trials and tribulations? When you're in the midst of your trials and tribulations, what do you think you're auditioning for? You're auditioning to be an officer of peace. I give all praises to the Most High. And thine exactors of righteousness. That's what you're being put through. The Most High is trying to see, can you be an officer of peace? Can you be an exactor of righteousness for me? Verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Yes, Selah B, persecution teaches you humility, but also preservation. Yes. Yes, Selah B. Verse 19. The sun shall be no more, and thy light by day. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light. And we got a full moon tonight, light unto thee, but the Most High shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy power, thy glory, and the Most High, and thy Most High, the glory. So when the Most High comes back, we all know through Revelations that the sun and the moon will shine no more. That the light is going to be given by the skin of the Leviathan that is still beneath the earth, beneath the sea. That's another story. Verse 20. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Most High shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So it's saying that mourning is going to happen until the Most High comes and does his business. Period. That's what the business is. So we're going to be tested. We're going to be put through trials and tribulations. But understand that you have grace, mercy, and covering, because when you stand on the mountain, he makes the persecutors, the enemies, the adversaries, Hashatan, bow to your feet. It says, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. So Most High says all that he wanted us to do, he created us so that we will glorify him on this earth as his angels glorify him in the heavens. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Most High, will hasten it in his time. Most High said, I will rise you in my time. Endure to the end. I will rise you. I will raise you up. So now we're going to get a precept on that. We're going to Ephesians chapter 1. We're going down to verse 17 to 21. Precept to that the Most High and our Yasha, our Hamashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him. So as we just talked about in Isaiah, and Isaiah spoke of the power of Jacob. So in Ephesians, which is part of that New Testament, right? They are referencing, this is the precept to the Old Testament, and it's saying that the Most High of our salvation, our Hamashiach, Yasha, the Father of glory, right, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him. So even in this New Testament where this Catholic Church doctrine tells you it's all about Jesus, here in Ephesians it's telling you, no, the Father of Yasha, the Father of the salvation, he's the glory, and that he may give you the spirit of wisdom, and that he will give you the revelation in the knowledge of him. Verse 18, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling. Woo! Woo! It says, so when you get the understanding of the Most High, when you stand on his rock, he reveals things to you. Like I'm telling you, I'm by my uncle, and he's revealing these things. And I'm understanding from what I know to why I'm understanding of why these things happen. I'm learning the unknown, and I'm clearly seeing what my path is and how my path has led to this very moment. So here it says, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened. After you go into the Most High and he gives you wisdom and he gives you the revelation of him, the knowledge of him, then the eyes of your understanding are being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling. That means you're going to find out what you got to do. And what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. Oh, so now you find out what you got to do, and you know what your glory, what the riches of your glory, what your inheritance as being a saint. This ain't talking nothing about calling on Jesus' name. No, this is talking about your works. This is talking about how you stand on the rock. This is how you stand on righteousness, that you get this salvation. So that when his son Yahshua come to actually judge you, then he's saying, whoa, all right, I know you. I know you. You may have called some Allah name. You may have called some Jesus name. You may have called some Hamashiach name. You may have called some Bahashim Hamashiach. You may have called Yahweh. But your deeds every day, you did the right thing by the people, by your community. You tried to enlighten them. You tried to tell them that there was a greater spirit. There was something to live for that was more than them. There was something greater than the government. There was something greater than their oppressor. Say, yo, okay. If you're a Gentile, we got you in the outer courts. You know, if you are the bloodline of Abraham, we got a spot for you. The gates is open. The more you learn about the wisdom of the Most High, the less you want to attack people that aren't saying the name that you may have come across. The less you want to judge others. Because you understand this walk of righteousness ain't got nothing to do with a name. This walk of righteousness has to do with a mentality. This walk of righteousness has to do with standing on the word of righteousness. When you can look at somebody on TV and not know what their belief system is, and you see them do something, let's call it a movie. You're watching a movie and you see an actor do something that is good. You don't know what their belief is, but you feel the emotion of somebody doing something right, of somebody being vindicated, of righteousness winning over evil. You get emotional, you cry. You can't tell me that that's not something physical. You can't tell me that that is something that's in the atmosphere that's not real. You can't tell me that a person that does something righteous, that my creator that's way smarter than me, that never created this whole concept of race, that never created any of these doctrines, that he's going to tell me that that creator that wants nothing but his children to do righteous, that when that human being does something righteous, that we feel, that we cry for, you think that the Father doesn't see it and feel it and know it? You think he sits down and looks at his resume or what name he's calling upon? You as a Christian pray that your works is weighs more than the amount of times you went to a church. Christians all the time say, I know Jesus, I ain't got to go to church. I got faith. So if you're not coming unto him, you're not showing up on the day he asks you to show up, you're just relying on your works, then you, just like everybody else, is hoping that or praying that when you are righteous, that in the atmosphere, in the universe, it's acknowledged. Right? So what's the difference? So what's the difference? The eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling, what you have to do now, that you know the Father's in your life, that you know he's working things for you, what he will reveal to you what you're supposed to do. He may not tell that to everybody else in the world. Part of your standing on the mountain may be that he only told you to go and do this. Remember Noah? Noah was building a boat and everybody called him an idiot. It ain't gonna rain. Sometimes you have to stand on a rock that only he gives you. It's still a mountain. And for that, It says, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe according to the working of his mighty power. It doesn't say because of the name, it says according to the working of his mighty power. And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe? We're not believing in something that we can't see. It says according to the working of his mighty power. Verse 20, which he wrought in the Hamashiach, which he wrought in the Hamashiach, when he raised him from the dead and set him at his own right hand in the heavenly places. So the Most High showed his power through his Hamashiach, to his anointed, when he raised him from the dead. So Jesus didn't raise himself from the dead. This is Ephesians. So in Ephesians, even in the New Testament, where they tell you got to say the name Jesus, here it even says that Jesus did not raise himself from the dead, but the Creator, his Father, raised him from the dead. And that's the one that gives you the knowledge. That's the one that accepts your righteousness. That's the one that tells you what your calling is. And that's the one that gives you your everlasting, eternal reward. Verse 20, Ephesians chapter 1, which he wrought in the Hamashiach, when he raised him from the dead and set him at his own right hand in the heavenly places. Verse 21, far above all principalities and power and might and dominion and every name that is named. Whoa, whoa. We talk about these names being called, right? We talk about this power in the name, right? But we are telling you, nah, it ain't about no name. It's about your deeds. It's about your righteousness. It's about you standing. It says here in verse 21, for he, the power of the Hamashiach, the one that walked in him, walked in his way, the one that the Most High raised from the dead, it says, he raised them above all principalities and above all powers and above all might and dominions and above every name that you may want to call. Not only in this world, but also in that which is to come. Katie for the dough. We talking about in the kingdom to come, his name is already written. And in this world, his name is written, as the Most High put his hands upon him and raised him from the death and gave him the keys to hell, gave him the keys to hell, and gave him the right to judge us on Judgment Day. Verse 22. And he had put all things under his feet and gave him to be the head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him that filleth all in all. So this filleth all in all. Let's go for another precept, right? Let's hit 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. We're going to drop down to verse 10. Verse 10. Yeah. I'm sorry. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. My bad. I know y'all. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. And it says, whether therefore ye eat or drink, or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of the Most High. this is Corinthians, right? This is New Testament. Everything's supposed to be about Jesus, right? All about a name, right? See my brother Yawan in the building. But as a precept to our Ephesians and a precept to our Isaiah 60, it says here, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of the Most High. And we just talked about the glory is standing on righteousness in the midst of adversity to get that glorious consonance of the Most High upon you, to get that eternal salvation, to be in this physical form, in this lifespan that we have on the earth, to be the city of Zion in the flesh. And First Corinthians says, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of the Most High. And it says, verse 32, give non-offense neither to the Jews, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of God, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. Of course, that's Paul trying to say his little thing at the end. But I like the part of give no offense, because that's the part of being righteous in the midst of adversity. Adversity makes our flesh want to lash out and give offenses. But we are to do to the glory of the Most High. So let's move along. We're going to Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 2. Get some of these old prophets around here. So this one is titled, The Most High Answers the Prophet. Habakkuk gonna go in right here, right? So it says Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. And and since I'm by my uncle's house, there's a family Bible here that my great grandmother had, that a red letter Bible. I don't know what a red letter means about it, but we're gonna go ahead and see what it looked like in here. Habakkuk chapter 2. So show y'all this old family Bible they got here. My great grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness. And so my mama's side of the family were Jehovah's Witnesses. And didn't know that, right? You know what I'm saying? But it explained what my mother's name was. When I say how things come around, I didn't know that my great grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness, and my mother's name was Salome, right? My biological mother. And in my studies and research, I found that the feminine name of Shalom, when we greet each other, we say Shalom, as in peace. The feminine of that is Salome, which is my mother's name. So I know that my great grandmother named my mom. So I know now that my great grandmother was deep in the scripture, that she pulled out the name Salome for my mom. So like I said, these little things, that you learn, man. So it says, Habakkuk, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So this reprove, right? And earlier it said that if you get to know the knowledge of the Most High, he will tell you your calling, right? That's what we just read. So let's find out in Hebrew, when I am approved, it's Strong's Concordance, Hebrew 8:433. So the original Hebrew word for for reprove it, when I am reproved, the word is tokaha, right? Tokaha. And tokaha means rebuke, correction, reproof, punishment, chastisement, argument, reproof, argument, impeachment, reproof, siding, correction, rebuke, right? So it says that Habakkuk starts off with, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon, I'm sorry, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. So Habakkuk is calling unto the Most High. So he's expecting to be chastised. He wants to know how he's gonna handle that chastisement, because a lot of times in life, a lot of us want to take our trials and tribulations and not think it's chastisement. We want to think that it's our chance to level up, or maybe that everybody else is wrong. We don't want to look at ourselves, but we all want to stand on the rock. We want to say that the Most High has our back and that we are doing it for Him. But you may be getting chastised by Him, right? In that same breath as you're talking that, right? So that's what we want to look at right now. But we have to understand that we should not be running from it. We should not run from the chastisement, and we should not duck and hide it. We should not act like it's not upon us. We should not act like we are not able to be reproved. Even in all our good, if we are not understanding His will for us, we may be doing wrong when we think we're doing right. Just a fact. So, and it says here, verse 2, and the Most High answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right? So Habakkuk is supposed to make this vision that the Most High has given him very plain, so that you can run with it. You can automatically apply it. It's a direct upload, right? Once you upload it, you need to run with the program. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Ooh. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right? So it's saying that for the vision is yet for an appointed time, not right then and there. It wasn't for Habakkuk, it wasn't for the era of Habakkuk, but at the end it shall speak. So we're talking end times. And it says it will not lie in the end times, though it tarry, though it took some time to get there, though the prophecy took some time, you had to endure. Saints died, people died, but it shall surely come. And it will not tarry and not make its appointed time. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up, his soul that's screaming, is Most High, is not upright in him. But the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. It says, because of the wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires as hell. Ooh, says, neither keepeth at home, comma, who enlargeth his desire as hell, comma, and is as death, comma, and cannot be satisfied, comma, but gathereth unto him all nations, and comma, and heapeth unto him all people. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're talking about a soul being lifted up, saying it's not upright within them. It says, but the just shall live by faith. And it says, but yea, also, because he transgressed by the wine. All right. Now y'all know, and then verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, who ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be for booties unto them. Whoa. So it talks about this iniquity, right? It talks about this transgressor of wine, right? And it says, how many parables can be applied to the proud, to the alcohol? And it says, 6, shall not all these take up parables against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake thee, shall vex thee? Ooh, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. So it's saying these people that do these things are bringing these problems. They are going to awake the giant and be a booty unto them. And it says, verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness, to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Ooh, it says, woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness, to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. It says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall carry out of the wall. Shall cry out of the wall. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. How was America founded? If you go to City Hall in New Orleans, you'll see in the marble, right before you walk through the glass doors, you'll feel to the right, there's a lot of red marble right there where it kind of blends in. But right there, there's an image that's carved into the marble. And it's Europeans coming to America, where they're symbolizing New Orleans. And the Indians have bear, skin, and wheat and fruit. And the Europeans have a contract for land and alcohol. This is facts. This is facts. So as we read here in Habakkuk, and it says that these people they have consulted shame to the house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul. It says in 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations. We know that America had many nations, thousands of indigenous nations here. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth in evil covetousness, to his house, that he may sit his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. But it says, Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. So we're talking about America. We're talking about the bloodshed of the Most High's people, of the Jacob, the seed of Jacob. It says, for thy stone shall cry out to the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that builded a town with blood, and established a city by iniquity. New Orleans is known as Sin City, like Vegas. It's the big easy. Anything goes. We know this. We know that the whore of Babylon sits upon her throne and says she's done no wrong, as she is drunk with the wine of fornication, of all of the doctrines and lies of religion that they have done. It says, behold, is it not the Most High of hosts, that the people shall labor in the very fire? So you know who the Most High of hosts is, right? The leader of the Most High's army, right? It is Yasha, the salvation. You know, the same one that was known as Shadiah, then known as Ahia, I am, I exist, then known as salvation. And he said when he came, I come back to bring the sword. So that's the army, and host in scripture means army. So he's the leader of the host that's going to bring judgment upon the earth. And he says that those people will be in the labor of his very fire. And the people shall weary themselves, for very vanity. Ooh, for the very vanity. Behold, it is not of the Most High of the host. The people shall labor in the very fire of the people, and shall weary themselves for very vanities. Right? For the earth shall be filled with knowledge of the glory of the Most High, as the waters cover the sea. Well, we do have to thank the Gentile church for that. And that's why Paul was used, to bring the word to the Gentile, so that the Gentile who rule the world would take it as its doctrine, and everybody would know, and every Bible would be there for everyone to seek for themselves this very knowledge. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drink it, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. So the drunkenness, the alcohol pulls off our nakedness. It uncovers the true wretchedness and iniquity in us. It allows our flesh to live. So thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Most High's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Ooh. Remember, we talked about the glory of being on righteousness, right? Now we're saying the spewing shall be on thy glory. Read 16 again, Habakkuk chapter 2. Thou art filled with shame of glory, semicolon, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Most High's right hand shall be turned unto thee. You know who the Most High's right hand is, right? Yahshua, the salvation. And shameful spewing shall be thy glory. So Yahshua, in his judgment, in his sword, is going to give shameful spewing unto your glory. Ooh. Verse 17, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, and the spoils of beasts which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. That's why the violence of Lebanon shall come over thee. Verse 18, who profited the graven image, that the maker thereof hath graven it, the molten image, and a teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols. So again, when we're looking at this Jesus image, because Jesus is an idol, a Caucasian on a cross, when Galatians chapter 3, verse 13 says that he was hung on a tree, and that all that bear the curse, Deuteronomy 28, shall be hung on the tree. Who were hung on trees in America? It wasn't the indigenous that was taken over. It was the tribes, the 12 tribes, the southern tribes of Judah, Benjamin, that were brought here in the slave ships. Those and their descendants were hung on the tree. They gave the molten images. They gave the images of iniquity to steer us. They provided the teachers of lies. They messed with the doctrine to make it a lie. They changed the names. They changed the dates to their Sunday from the fourth commandment of the Sabbath. Understand that this entire world that we live in has been profaned. And that the Most High is going to bring violence upon those dumb idols. He's going to bring violence upon those that call upon those names. He's going to say, I never knew you. He's going to say, I never knew you. Verse 19. Woe unto him that said to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it, who does the stone? Mecca, know that Mecca's a stone. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But the Most High is in the holy temple. What did we find out in our past scripture, right? That Zion and Habakkuk, right? Not Habakkuk, in Ephesians, right? That they're going to drop down to the city of Zion, that we are that. The holy temple, where you think the holy temple is, you are the holy temple. You are the holy city. When you stand on righteousness, when you are the example of the Most High, you are that. So let all the earth keep silence before him. Yes. Let's get us some Exodus. Exodus chapter 40. Well, I missed a lot of messages on it there. All praises for everybody in the building. Nikki Empress in the building. All praises. Brother Yuan in the building. You know, you hate that Shabbat Shalom. Nicole in the building. Jeremy Big Chief Black is in the building. My brother Adon, yes. Bird in the building. That's what's up. So we are down at Exodus 40, chapter 40, and we are going to read from 17 to 35, right? When we're talking about the glory of the Most High, when we are talking about the clarity between the iniquity and the clarity of the Most High, we have to understand I see in the building, Ray in the building. Welcome to the show. You'll find that there's about this anointment, right? When you find the word Christ that they use, that they stick behind that Jesus name, Christ is the Greek word or the English word for anointed. The Hamashiach, Yahshua was the anointed. He was anointed in the heavens before he came here. He was anointed here, right? So 17 is going to talk about Moses and the Most High when we are in doing the righteousness of him. how physical he can become in our lives, how physical the Most High can be in our lives. Not this fake thing, not all out around here. When we are anointing ourselves and being righteous and standing on that mountain. So it goes, verse 16. Thus did Moses, according to all that the Most High commanded him, so did he. And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. So this is the first time that Moses created the tabernacle that the Most High was to be upon. Now remember when Moses first took everybody out of Egypt, that the Most High came, brought his countenance down onto the mountain. And all the people, because they feared all of their iniquity in them, because they let their flesh tell them they weren't good enough, even though the Most High just came and took them out of their bondage, out of their captivity, they still felt like they were full of iniquity and they would not go up to the mountain with Moses to get the Ten Commandments. Many churches don't tell that story. They act as though the Most High only called Moses. No, the Most High told all the people of Yasharala to come up to the mountain. But they were scared and stayed. Moses was the one that went forward. So here we're talking about now, after all that has happened, Moses is about to erect the first tabernacle. And he says, and Moses reared up the tabernacle and fastened the sockets and set up the boards thereof and put in the bars thereof and reared up his pillars. And he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacles and put the covering of the tent above him and above upon it, as the Most High commanded Moses, Moshe. And he took and put the testimony into the ark. So he put the testimony in the ark. What you think the testimony is? The testimony of the Most High. The Ten Commandments, what he came down, which could be 9, but depends on how you read the scripture. But that's what he put in the tabernacle, and set the staves of the ark and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark unto the tabernacle and set up the veil of the covering and covered the ark of the testimony as the Most High commanded Moshe. And he put the table in the tent of the congregation upon the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before the Most High, as the Most High had commanded Moses. And he put the candlestick in the tent of the congregation over against the table on the side of the tabernacle southward. So Moshe is giving us a full description of how the Most High set up the inner tabernacle. That's not spherical, right? That's not galaxy thing, right? That's real ways of how to establish, to bring this power about. Listen close. On the side of the tabernacle southward, and he lighted the lamps before the Most High, as the Most High commanded Moshe. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the congregation before the veil. And he burnt sweet incense thereof, frankincense and myrrh, as the Most High commanded Moses. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle. And he put the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and offered upon it burnt offerings and the meat offering, as the Most High commanded Moshe. And he set the laver between the tent and the congregation and the altar, and put water there to wash withal. So in between, going from the congregation to the inner holy parts, he had to wash. And Moshe and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat. When they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed as the Most High commanded Moshe. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moshe finished the work. The glory of the Most High. Verse 34. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Most High filled the tabernacle. And Moshe was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation, because the cloud abode therein, and the glory of the Most High filled the tabernacle. So an actual physical cloud, as actual physical presence, and Moshe could not get into the congregation because it was filled with the cloud. It wasn't the walk through type, right? Obviously, right? As Moshe was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation because the cloud abode therein, and the glory of the Most High filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Yasharallah went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then the journey not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Most High was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night. In the sight of all the house of Yasharallah throughout all their journeys. So understanding that from the beginning, the Most High was training us to not move without his consulting, without his approval. And how do we get it? It's not about running around and doing all kind of things. It's sitting still. It's meditating on his Shabbat. It's allowing him to tell you your path. When you get the knowledge of him, he gives you your calling, your path, and then your riches is laid upon that path as you walk it. And he tells you when to stop, when to go, when to hold up, when to speak, when to be quiet, when to be humble, when to stand with the sword. He tells you, not the flesh. No, not the flesh. Let's go to Revelations, chapter 21. We're reading 1 through 11, because we're understanding his glory, right? It's in tabernacle. We know that when we do righteousness, that the glory of his countenance is upon us, that we have gotten us a ticket of eternal passage, right? That we are now on his path and able to receive his riches. So in Revelations it says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. There ain't gonna be no light. There's not gonna be no sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them. So we just learned in Exodus, right, that when he was dwelling with us during Exodus coming out of Egypt, that his cloud was there, that he was there. So he's done it before. So when they talk about in Revelation, when they talk about his kingdom coming down here, we should not be surprised. We should not question that. It says, and I heard a great voice out of the heavens saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them, and be their Most High, their God. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, And there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that has sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. Yeah. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Tav, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water a life freely. So even though we're in captivity, even though he's bringing these pestilence, even though he's bringing these curses upon us, he said the ones that recognize he is the Alpha and the Tav, the ones that know his hand is there, the ones that understand that the tabernacle is full. He says, if you are thirsty, you are seeking that, and you are looking for that covering, he said, I'm going to leave that fountain of water of life freely, the Ruach HaKodesh, 27, verse 21, verse 7. And it says, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. So again, what is the glory of the Most High? When we steadfast on his mountain in the trials of tribulations and endure to the end, he said, he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his, her, Elohim. I will be his, her, Elohim. And he shall be, and she shall be my son and my daughter. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Y'all heard that? The second death. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The wicked and the evil have quite a journey awaiting them after the first death, after the physical death on this earth. It says, and there came unto me one of the seven angels which I had seen, which had the seven veils, full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. Wait. 7 plagues? The 7 angels which had the 7 vials, full of the 7 last plagues. So 7 plagues are supposed to come upon us in the last days. We got variants of this coronavirus. I guess I'm just making these connections. I'm just trying to make these connections, right? This ain't real, right? I'm tripping. I'm conspiracy theorist, right? We are reading Revelations. We are talking about the end times. We do know that these are the days of Noah that we're in, and it's saying that the 7 plagues are going to come through. Verse 10 of chapter 21 of Revelations. And he cried, he carried me away in the spirit to the great and high mountain and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High, out of Shemayim, from Elohim. Yes, out of Shemayim, from Elohim. Yes, I like that. Out of Shemayim, from Elohim. Yes. So what did we establish that the holy city is us, the great city is Zion, when we stand on righteousness? He showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of Shemayim from Elohim. Verse 11, having the glory of the Most High. We're talking about the glory of the Most High tonight. And her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. Let's go to our Colossians, right? Not Galatians, Colossians. So Colossians chapter 1. And then we go on to our Psalm 72 and let you guys enjoy your Shabbat. I was able to cook for my uncle tonight, man. Smothered some steaks, man, and Esther don't even know she cooked for us tonight. Esther got me some greens, some mustard greens she cooked. So we splitting up the mustard greens with the smothered steak, and man, we just it's just been a really good time, man, to break bread with my family, man, and yeah, it's just been many, many, many years. And again, giving my testimony, just thankful the Most High in the Shabbat. And I pray you guys are thankful on this Shabbat, right? So when it says, Paul, an apostle of Yasha, by the will of somebody, they call him God, and Timotheus, our brother. So you got to understand that Paul was used by the Most High, but Paul created positions that no other prophet spoke of in the Old Testament. They did not speak of Paul doing the things that he's done. We understand the Most High used him as a mighty tool, but Paul himself called himself an apostle. He was not a disciple that walked with Yahshua. So as we understand that, we go forward. It says, to the saints and the faithful brethren in Yahshua, which are at Colossae. So grace be unto you and peace from the Most High, our Father, and Yahshua, the HaMashiach. We give thanks unto the Most High and to the Father of Yahshua, praying always for you. Since we heard, so Paul even gets it right there, even though the Catholic Church has run with it all being about Jesus, he's giving thanks unto the Most High. It says, for the hope which is laid up for you in heaven, whereof ye heard before in the word of the truth of the gospel of the good news, which is come unto you as it is in the world, and bringeth forth fruit, as it doth also in you, since the day ye heard of it and knew the grace of the Most High in truth. So with all those funny words he's trying to say right there, basically saying from the time that you understood who the truth was, and you got the grace of the Most High. So ye also learned of Epaphras, our dear fellow servant, who is for you a faithful minister of Yahshua. You can see all these the Catholic Church and the Baptist Church get all this to the deacon and to this and to that. It says, who also declared unto us your love in the Spirit. For this cause we. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Get y'all situated again. All right. So it says, for this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding. Now, if you are just reading this, right, and you are only in the New Testament, you will really believe that they're talking about the Jesus image, right? Now, Paul is saying that, but we understood by reading it that it's actually speaking to the Most High. And that goes back to our Habakkuk, that goes back to our Corinthians and Ephesians, when it says that the knowledge, once you have the knowledge of the Most High, that he gives you wisdom and gives you your path and your spiritual understanding. Verse 10, that ye may walk worthy of the Most High unto all pleasing, being fruitful and every good work, and increasing in the knowledge of the Most High. And remember, we went to that First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, when it says, when you do all things, do it to the glory of the Most High. And it says, that ye may walk worthy, that's right, and the Most High unto all pleasing, be fruitful in every good work, and increasing into the knowledge of the Most High. Strengthened with all might, according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering of joyfulness, giving thanks unto the Father, which hath made us meet to be partakers in the inheritance of the saints in light. Giving thanks unto the Father, which had made us meet to be partakers. He's talking about the Gentiles. That the Gentiles can be partakers in an inheritance of the saints in the light. So Paul, if you are clear on what you're reading when you read Paul, Paul is telling the Gentiles that we got to thank the Most High that he allowed us to partake in the light of the saints, the Kodesh Shem, the set apart, us, the incomparable Hamashiach, the incomparable anointed. Verse 13, he had delivered us from the power of darkness and had translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible Most High, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Over here by my uncle, I was having an opportunity just before the show. He had a friend of his that came over. And I got a chance we had this very conversation about the fact that the Most High created Hashatan, that everything Hashatan does is ordained by the Most High. And it's saying it right here. And then verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist, the Most High. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, and all things he might have a preeminence. So it says he's the firstborn from the dead. So now obviously we're talking about Yasha, the head of their church, that they are following his teachings when he walked the earth. And he's the firstborn from the dead, the one that walked, that beat death through his Father. It said, for it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. When you read in scripture as well, you understand that when Yasha came, he possessed all of the spirits of goodness of the Ruach HaKodesh, right? So it's saying here, for it pleased the Most High that in him should all fulfillment dwell. And having made peace through the blood of his tree, because, he didn't die on a cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself by him. I say whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. So it says through the blood, through his hanging, that now he has all of this. That because of his hanging, the blood that he shed for us, that he gets to say what's what with all things on the earth and in heaven. And you that were sometime alienated as enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath reconciled. That's the other thing I was telling the brother tonight, that this Catholic guilt thing, it is to repent and do no more. Catholic guilt wants you to beat on yourselves and do all these things. It says here, the Most High is saying that when you were doing that wickedness, you alienated yourself from me, that you were an enemy of mine because of your wicked deeds. But my covenant is still here. My righteousness is still here. The riches that I have for you are still here. in the body of his flesh through death, the present, and say to present you holy. It says in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. It's about being unblameable and unreprovable in the Most High, or in Brother Yasha's sight. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under the heavens. Wherefore I, Paul, am made a minister. So Paul called himself a minister. You see here, Paul keeps trying to juice himself up. We now rejoice in my sufferings for you. Now we're going to rejoice in Paul's sufferings, right? Whatever. And fill up that which is behind of all the afflictions of Hamashiach in my flesh for his body's sake, which is the church. You see, Paul, this is where we have the issue with Paul. Because Yasha said the church was built on Peter. And now Paul is saying that his flesh, his thing between him and Yasha is how this church was created. Wherefore I am made minister according to the dispensation of the Most High, which is given to me for you to fulfill the word of the Most High. Not the word of Jesus, but the word of the Most High now. See how Paul flip-flop. But we read all this for this. Even a mystery which had been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. Verse 27, to whom the Most High would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles. So y'all understand, I have just been telling you guys all night about the glory of the Most High. I've been telling you that righteousness is the rock in which you stand on, that is where you get the glory of the Most High's countenance upon you. So Paul, through all of this Colossians, chapter 1 is talking about inserting himself, talking about how we are all falling in the blood from all the pain that he got to. But all of this is about verse 26 when it says, but now is made manifest to his saints, that his glory, his ages of generation to generation, that this is a mystery of the Most High's love and manifestation in his saints has been a mystery for ages for them. But in 27, it says, to whom would make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles. It's a mystery amongst the Gentiles, which is Hamashiach in you, the hope of glory. So Yasha allowed the Gentiles to be able to be grafted in, hoping that they would understand the light of the saints, hoping that they would figure out the mystery to them of who the saints were and why they were the saints. But they didn't figure that mystery out because they're still oppressing, because they still want to vaccinate you, because they still want to keep us in prison, because they still running their colonialism, their colonization. So they can't. But you can get the glory on you. You can obtain your sainthood. You can have your robe washed in the blood. What is the blood? Your sacrificing of your flesh, the killing of your flesh, the cutting of your blood. Being righteous in the Most High, sacrificing and being a reflection of him, and being righteous in your trials and tribulations. That is how you get it. They don't get that. They believe they got to shed blood to get their word heard. They believe they got to be drunken and go on killing sprees and go on troops and bring and take over nations. That's what they feel like they have to do. That's why they are clearly outlined as the adversary, as Hashatan. But the ones of them that get tired of that killing and pillaging and maiming, Most High, and as Paul is saying through him, his suffering, that even those can repent from those ways and learn the mystery by seeking his face and learning the glory of the saints, which was inside Hamashiach, which they are following in the name of Jesus. When you read these scriptures and you understand the Old Testament, you can dissect and have your discernment on this New Testament, because they put a lot of words around it, but they clearly state that the Gentiles is confused and that the saints have their place waiting, and that righteousness is the way of your robe. So now we're going to go to our Psalm 72 and let you guys out of here for the night. Hope you're understanding the glory of the Most High. It says, a song of Solomon. Normally we read songs of David, right? But this is a song of Solomon. And it says, who is supposed to be the wisest man, right? It says, give the king thy judgment, O Most High, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. So he's given the judgment unto David because David has died, which is his father. And now he's saying, O Most High, thy righteousness now, and saying, thy righteousness unto the king's son himself. He shall judge thy people with righteousness and thy poor with judgment. That's how our government's supposed to do it, but they don't judge by righteousness. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy, and shall break in pieces the oppressor. They shall fear thee as long as the sun and the moon endure, throughout all generations. He shall come down like rain upon mown grass, and as showers that water the earth. It says, he shall come down as rain upon mown grass. So they were cutting the grass back then, as showers that water the earth. In his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace, so long as the moon endureth. Think you're trying to say something? He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, from the river unto the ends of the earth, unto the ends of the earth. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. Talk about that righteousness, homie. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust. The kings of Tarshish and of the isles from Spain and of Europe shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba, Ethiopia, and Sheba shall offer gifts. Yea, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no help. Y'all understand how much of a testimony that is for me right now. For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper. He shall spare the poor and needy, and shall save the souls of the needy. He shall redeem their souls He shall redeem their soul from deceit and violence. And precious shall their blood be in his sight. Most High say, my blood is precious. He said, your blood is precious. Yes, that's what he's saying. When you are standing in righteousness, in his eyes, you are precious to him. Your blood is precious. Can't nobody be playing with your blood. And he said, and he shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised. There shall be an handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth. His name shall endure it forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed. Now, in this scripture, in this Psalm 72, too many times did he point out, as long as the moon shall last, as long as the sun shall last. We have Gatesy right now that's talking about blocking out the sun. That's also blocking out the moon. And it's saying here, his name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun. And men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him Barakas. Barakas, blessed be the Most High. And Elohim of Yasharallah, who only doeth wondrous things. And Barakas be his glorious name forever. And let the whole earth be filled with his glory. Amen, amen. The prayer of David, the son of Jesse, are ended. Well, that is our Shabbat for tonight. I pray this lesson, these words have edified you and has brought you closer unto the Most High, brought you closer to your understanding of the glory that's upon you as you go through your trials and tribulations, and how great the glory increases when you triumph and keep your glory through your trials and tribulations, when you keep your spirit righteous, when you pray for those that persecute you, when you pray for those that may be in an adversarial position in that moment, when you pray for your position to be heard in the heavens, and you pray that knowledge and understanding is given to all. Like my man said, NoUmBow, that's right, I got two things to play for y'all tonight. I got this song to play for you guys, and I got this cracking of the sky to play for you guys, right? Oh, look, God. I know y'all on Facebook can't really see it, so I'm just going to play a little bit of this Jason A clip, because we talking about things cracking out the sky, man.
Your online activity can expose your personal info there, and everywhere. Norton 360 with LifeLock is all-in-one protection for your devices, online privacy, and identity. Norton.com/.
You're out of here. So everybody on OBS.
It could almost look like a cruise missile type of thing, moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
Thousands and thousands of pilots worldwide have actually seen anomalous objects in the sky that they can't explain.
You got me already. Now, people who already believe in aliens are going to know these things, so this is for people who don't yet believe, and maybe they'll consider it after hearing what I have to say. So, an American Airlines pilot saw something mysterious recently during a flight from Cincinnati to Phoenix. This was just on Sunday.
And even now, it's still not clear what exactly it was.
Audio of an American Airlines pilot who saw something strange as he was flying towards Sky Harbor Airport just last Sunday.
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us.
And what's interesting about this, American Airlines confirmed that audio as authentic and then referred all media questions to the FBI. Erica, what's going on here? What did he see?
Now from the 19, we are just a couple of weeks away from the 24th anniversary of the Phoenix Lights in the Sky.
That strange sight has led to ongoing mystery and intrigue about unidentified flying objects. And now there's been another UFO sighting involving an American Airlines crew that was flying to Phoenix.
The American Airlines pilot of Flight 2292 radioed in at 1 p.m. Central Time, reporting an object flying right on top of them.
What did he see? And then, yeah, I'd be interested to know. It couldn't have been a missile. I think I was reading it couldn't have been, but I don't know.
Close to Roswell this happened, so you never know when you get close to Roswell what might be up there.
And this comes just a year after the Pentagon released 3 videos of unidentified flying objects, you may know them as UFOs, recorded by Navy fighter pilots. It also comes in the same year as an astronomer at Harvard named Avi Loeb says, affirmatively, aliens have visited. It's not kidding.
So the FBI got back to me today. They say they are aware of the reported incident, but it is their policy not to confirm nor deny any of their investigations, which of course only makes this all that much more mysterious.
So,
keeping your cell phone in your pocket might be doing so.
That is what the crave is. As you're talking about vaccines, new strands, new one-shot vaccines, you have them still out rolling this concept of aliens. We understand it's fallen angels. In this hour, man, we have to be prayed up, and we have to understand that trials and tribulations are going to come in many forms and fashions, and we're going to be tested in many forms and fashions. And we have to stay in our prayer mode, stay looking at everything from the Most High's lenses, not our lenses, not our own thoughts and our own understanding. So with that, thank y'all for tuning in on tonight on Shabbat. You can check out that Jason A video. It's 2021. What's it called? 2021. Something Strange is Happening. This is his latest video. So it's all in favor of y'all tonight. The end out tonight is Eshawn Burgundy. Pray, because that's what we have with it. And I pray that you guys keep your meal, that you got all bill collected, chill for 24 hours. You can get back at that tonight.
Yeah. Stepping out my prayer closet empty. I was lifting up everyone that's against me. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And that commission ain't missing cause I'm feeling offended. And my feelings in touch with my inner villain. He is in the killing. I know you feel him. I know you know. That's why I'm kneeling, trying to penetrate the ceiling for a healing. I'm unwilling. That's why he gave me the Holy Ghost. I was reborn to be different, to be me. I no longer need permission. I'm 3D. I'm the rapper that's Christian, refining rap and religion. I'm the Killer Priest album I heard when I was 17. My mental is heavy. I'm flowing like broken levees. If you heard that one before, I keep going like stolen Chevys. If you heard that one too, I'm colder than frozen veggies. Hope you haven't heard it, but if you have, well then God bless you. Pray for me. Pray the Lord will keep showing the way to me. And if you get there before me, promise you'll wait for me. And if I'm wrong about something, then come and break it to me. Cause the last thing I want from the Lord is to take it from me. A reflection of Stevie Wonder on the keys. I make the music how I feel. It gets better when I bleed. Nina Simone in my tone. You see the blood on the leaves. I still pray for America's refusal to let us breathe. It's gonna be so many ex-slaves in heaven, uneducated and faithful, taking the places of reverence. Forever there'll be one king and one crown. When I get mine, I'ma throw it at his feet to the ground. I can't spend my time angry with everybody. If time was money, I can't spend a dime on everybody. Twitter got so many people thinking that we cool. It's my fault cause I be posting every single move. Lord forgive me for the things I blame others for. My conscience is asleep, help me put the covers off. And make me so sensitive to your spirit. Make me uncomfortable inside my sinful appearance, Lord. Give me an explanation of your grace, so I can have an answer when they staring in my face. Not an answer for the question, but an answer for the cancer. Like why me and my darkest thoughts are always so romantic, huh? Why do I love what you hate? Why those obedience come and go? I need a combination to the safe. Lord, I pray you would show yourself to the lost and give the streets a revelation of the cross. Lord, your kingdom come. Lord, your will be done. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us as we forgive. Yeah, I pray conviction in the heart of every pastor, and I pray that every thug will receive it before and after, you know.
And I can't make it on my own. I wanna do better. So I bow before your throne, and God, I get fed up. Sometimes I'm trained to feel all alone, but I know I will get up. For all my strength comes from the Lord, and dear Lord, I pray.
All my strength comes from the Most High. All praises, man. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see y'all on Monday. The Most High say the same. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody on Facebook in the building. Ashley, Ty in the building. Yuan in the building. Yes. Ray in the building. Yes. Man, it's been a great night. I pray y'all enjoy yourselves tomorrow, man. Relax. Shadiah in the building. Big Chief Walter Cook, that Creole Wild West. Jeanette in the building. Yes. Alana in the building. Yes. Thank y'all. I'm going to read these comments tomorrow and check them out. But now I'm going to let Kathy in the building. All praises. Yes. That's what's up. So I will see y'all when Brother Trip passed through. That's what's up. Our Brother August came through. Adri Baptiste came through. My brother Mike. Yeah, all praise. We had a great night, man. Edifying the Most High. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom.
Yes, tonight was very soothing sight.
Very soothing, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. Like it was clear understanding, and it made a lot of sense, you know.
Did it? I sure hope so. It all connected for them. I didn't go too many different places, that I kept it on that glory. And
I like that. Then you had the precepts that matched and it was perfect. It was a good lesson.
Great.
Logan just went to bed maybe like 15 minutes ago, but he was sitting right here on side of me. We had the phone up.
Nice.
We had a little snack. We heard it. I put the little pillows and a little blanket on the floor. And it was comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
It's been Shabbat for us, you know, so far.
Yes, I like it. I love it. Got to get comfortable. You know, we in rest mode, so y'all should be comfortable with the snacks. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
You got to talk about that and you're finding things out by being by your uncle. I like that type of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Like you said, very humbling and eye-opening.
Yes, very humbling. That's exactly what I feel, man. Very humble. Everything that he's done today has been just incredibly humbling.
Rest yourself, enjoy that. And again, before I go to bed, I'm just saying prayer. That we both have a restful Shabbat, you know.
And let me make you laugh though, Queen, because I didn't tell them this because I didn't want to put it out there. But this is a testimony for you and I.
Okay. All right.
Remember the guy Timothy that was going back and forth with me online?
Yeah.
And the guy Horace? So Timothy, the guy Horace was the one that cursed me out. That was when I was calling all kind of things. So your boy called me today, Timothy, and said, "Look, man, I just want you to know I reposted that thing when I was going before that you and I talked and got everything clear with, and I made that post about the thing." He said, "Man, I reposted that today, but it wasn't about you. We good, my brother. I just wanted to call you, let you know that I didn't go back on my word." But the guy Horace, but he didn't want to say the name at first. He said one of the guys while I was doing that, one of the guys made some type of mention about my mom or something like that. And me and that guy are going back and forth. So I had to post it for everybody to see what this dude did because I think I want to kill him, blah, blah, blah. I mean, telling me all this stuff, right? And but most of all, he wanted to be clear that he ain't got no problem with me. He respect me. Everything is all good. I just wanted to call and let you know, brother. I don't want nothing issue between you and I, my brother. And I said, you know, it's funny, Tim, that when you first called me, you told me that you wasn't going that hard on me because the people that put you up to it, one day they might turn on you. And I said, I guess we had that day. He said, yeah, you're right. I said, man, you prophesied this yourself. Woo-wee! So when I was sitting up here talking about you being humble and being righteous through it and the glory is upon you, this man, you know what I'm saying? This is true testimony. This is how it's happening. Yeah.